Valentine's Day is coming up and you may be wondering what crafts you could make for your kiddos. Well, today I'm going to show you guys how to make some really fun, easy Valentine crafts for preschoolers. Hi, I'm Crystal. Welcome to Design Bundle's YouTube channel. If you guys are new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss any of our crafting tutorials. For our first project, we're going to be making this super cute t-shirt right here. It is so much fun for the kiddos. They're going to be able to color it in with markers. Now, I've just got some of the Crayola Super Tips here. You guys already know that with the color, so much of it is going to stay with just regular markers. But if you wanted to go more in depth, you could definitely use, there is fabric markers that you can use that you can seal with like a heat press, and then there's also like infusible ink markers, which is like sublimation, that once again you would be able to get that to stay and last forever with something like an iron or Cricut Easy Press. But like I said, I'm just using regular old Crayola. You could even do crayons if you wanted to. I honestly, for the preschoolers, I would just get straight down to using some basic markers because we already know how those little preschoolers are on those tips. So super cheap markers, honestly. And then we're gonna be grabbing some t-shirts. This one right here is just like the Granimals brand from Walmart that you can get individual. Now, what I would recommend is in that same area, you can usually get like a 3 or 5 pack of the basic tees. That's what I personally would do, or even look online and maybe get them in bulk if you're going to be doing this for your classroom. Now, obviously, you're a mom doing this with your kiddo. You can, once again, just grab these locally, even at a craft store like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and things like that. Now, for this, what we're going to be using is the iron-on. So I'm using Siser iron-on today. So you're just simply going to use this, and then the kiddos can color it in. It's going to be so much fun, and as you can see from the design here, it is adorable. Now I've got a lint roller here, my heat pad, and a Cricut Easy Press. You could definitely follow along with this same project using a home iron or even a bigger heat press if you wanted to. So we're going to be using this design right here, like I said. Now I've already purchased this, so I just need to go to my purchases, get ready to download it so we can head on over to Cricut Design Space. All right, step 1 for downloading our design. I'm going to come find it in my purchases. I'm going to click download file, click on it, and it's going to send it straight over to my desktop. All right, so now that we're over here in Cricut Design Space, what we're going to do is get ready to upload that file by simply coming right here to the upload. Click on it, and then you want to go to upload an image. I'm going to show you if you were to do the drag and drop method, all you're simply going to do is find that file on your computer. So mine is right here, and what you're looking for is that SVG version. I'm going to grab it and then drag and drop it. So whenever you guys ever hear me talk about the drag and drop feature, that's exactly how that's going to work. So next, we're just simply going to go ahead and go to upload. I'm happy with what it's named. I may go ahead and put in kids just so I know that if I ever type in like kids crafts, I'm going to be able to find that a whole lot easier. So we're going to go ahead and hit upload, and then we're going to click on it and then add to canvas. All right, so you guys can see how darling this is. It is adorable. This would even be cute to just simply print out on a piece of copy paper for the kiddos to color in, as well for coloring sheets. So many different things that you could do with this file. I love it. So it's just going to be as simply as measuring it out. So let's go ahead and get ready to do that. All right, to measure this, I'm simply just going to go ahead and take a little sewing ruler here, and I actually need to flip this over because I'm on the back side of the t-shirt. So we're going to flip her over, and we're going to get ready to measure it out. So I'm going to figure out about how wide. So I think 6 inches is pretty good. So if we come back over to our design and we go to make sure you hit the lock button, if you ever notice that that is unlocked, just simply click on it and it's going to lock it back. Sometimes when you upload your own files, Cricut unlocks those, and so always be mindful of locking that back. And so we're going to go ahead and just put in 6 inches, and that's going to give us, 6 inches high. So I think that's pretty good. That's going to give us a nice little area for the kiddos to color in. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so now that we have sized this out, we're ready to go. So we're just simply going to go ahead and hit make it. So we're going to choose on the mat and then confirm. Now, if you guys are new to using iron-on, one of the biggest things that you have to do is click on mirror. And if you're not new, you know that you have probably made that mistake in the past of forgetting to mirror. So I'm going to need to cut a piece down to 7 inches, so about a 7 by 7. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring in my paper trimmer, and we're going to get this cut down. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take this. If you guys purchase yours by the roll, you may purchase yours by the 12 by 12 sheets, and you can just simply put that whole 12 by 12 and cut it after the fact if you want to, or you could definitely just do like I'm doing now and do it ahead of time so you are good to go. So we're gonna need a 7 by 7 piece. I'm gonna double check my measurements here. Never hurts to double check. We're gonna go ahead and do that now. And then I'm gonna put my piece of tape back on here and get that out of the way. And then we're gonna do the same thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this over here and we're gonna cut it down to the 7 inches. All right, just like that. So now we have our material. Now let's go ahead and get ready to load it on the mat. All right, so we're ready to load it on the mat. We're gonna load it shiny side down, get it all the way over here in the corner. All right, so back over here in Cricut Design Space, we're gonna go ahead and hit continue, and then we are gonna just simply choose everyday iron-on. I am using Siser Easy Weed, and it's the exact same cut settings as the everyday iron-on. So we're gonna choose that now, and we are ready to load. So I'm gonna scoot this stuff out of the way of my cutter, and then we're just simply going to load it. So this would be so much fun for the kids too. Like if you were just doing this without the entire preschool classroom, because that would be a lot. If you just had 1 or 2 kiddos, you could have them load the material on the mat and help you stick it in the machine and cut it out, help you weed it, help you press it. So it's an entire process you could definitely do. Or maybe you're a mom and you're gonna give this to the kiddos for Valentine's Day for them to color. So lots of different ideas there. So I went ahead and hit go so that way we could cut that out. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. In the meantime, you can go ahead and prep up. Like I said, I've got my Cricut Easy Press set at 320 for 30 seconds. I've got a lint roller here. You wanna go ahead and lint roll to remove any sort of lint or debris. And then we can go ahead and pre-press our t-shirt. Now this iron is perfectly fitting on this t-shirt. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pre-press that for just a few seconds. That's gonna smooth everything down for us and remove any sort of wrinkles. So this guy is ready. So we're gonna let this cut all the way out and we're gonna get ready to weed it. All right, so now that that's done, we're gonna go ahead and remove it. We're going to flip it upside down to remove it from the mat. I'm gonna get this out of our way and we're gonna get ready to weed it. All right, so now what we're simply gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and go through here, weed everything out. Just gonna get that there and then just carefully weed all of these pieces like so. Now, if you guys have a weeding hack that you guys would like to share, definitely let me know down below. One thing that I like to do is actually, if I'm struggling to weed this one's actually going very well, but on those cold days, if you're ever struggling, you could heat up this pad below, set this on here, heat it up like I said, and then weed it, and it'll go so much better. But right now it seems to be doing pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue to weed all of these little pieces out. I just love this ladybug so much, like just to feel that in the little face come to life. I don't know, it's just adorable. You guys let me know what you guys think about this design below. I will have this in the description for you guys so you guys can easily find this one. Like I said, it is such a good one for the kiddos. They are going to love this project. And there we have it. It is so adorable. You guys let me know, like I said, in the comments below, what do you guys think of this design? I think it is so cute. I love it. It is so stinking cute. And having this like knockout, if you will, allows us to go in and color. So what we need to do, we've already pre-pressed our t-shirt and all of that. To find our center, we're just gonna fold this in half, and you're just lining up from side to side. So you're making sure that each side is, lining up, and that's how you're gonna find that center. Now, when it comes to a kid's t-shirt, you don't wanna go down too far. You know how I normally say 3 to 4 fingers? That'll end up on the tummy area, and we've all been guilty of that. So what you wanna do is probably around a finger or so. Something right about there looks pretty good to me. Now, this is a carrier sheet, so we don't need to cover it with parchment or Teflon or anything. This is gonna protect our iron-on heat transfer vinyl. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right on top now for 320 for 30 seconds. We're gonna give nice, even pressure, so this will last for a very long time. So we got 30 seconds, like I said. Now, according to the Cricut's guide, they want you to flip it over once you're done here and press again for 15 seconds, so we're gonna do that. Now, when it comes to a bigger heat press, you definitely don't have to do that. It's because we can't give it enough pressure. So when we flip it on the back side, that is gonna allow us to apply heat to the back to really make sure that that adhesive has bonded with the t-shirt. All right, so there we go. We're gonna flip it over. And this is a hot peel. So if you are using, for example, the Siser Easy Weed, it is a hot peel, but please keep in mind that the brand that you may be using is a cold peel, so always pay attention to that. So like I said, it's a hot peel, so all we have to do is peel and we are good to go. All right, so now we're ready to flip this thing. So we're just gonna flip it over, and then we're gonna press one more time from this side for another 15 seconds. So I've got it set at 30 seconds. I didn't stop it. I'm just gonna go ahead and stop it on my own. Now, if you were using the Cricut app they have created for the Cricut Easy Press 3, you can actually set those timers too to adjust so that way they go off for a particular time as well. All right, so here we go. It is completely done. You guys can see how adorable this thing is. It is so stinking cute. I'll actually bring it up here so you guys can see hopefully a little bit better, but it came out so cute. So it's perfect. It's ready for the kiddos to go in and color. Now for the fun part for the kiddos, you're just simply gonna get out those markers and then you're gonna let the kiddos color this in. So like I said, I am just using, these ones are the Crayola Super Tip here, and then they're just simply gonna go in and color in those spots. Now, as a preschooler, you know it's probably gonna get messy, and that's okay because that's theirs, and it's so much fun, and they can go in and really color these to be exactly how they want to. So, you know, for a preschooler, it could be as pretty or a hot mess, but you know us parents, we love everything. And we're super, super grateful for what you teachers do for our kiddos, because these are always super special when the kids come home. Now, one thing that you could do as a teacher, I know that we used to do too, is you could say, okay, I need all of the kids to send, you know, $2, we're making a t-shirt or whatever, and it helps with those costs. So whenever a parent can pitch in, it's just one of those things that I know that I've done over the time. So just like you can see, it is so easy just to go in here. I wanted to at least get all of my hearts so you could kind of see that there. Maybe we'll get a yellow one in here. So cute. And then so on and so forth. So the kiddos just gonna go in there and really color those in, and it's gonna be so much fun. All right, so there was project number 1. Let's go ahead and move on to project number 2. For project number 2, it is gonna be so easy. All you need is cardstock and some crayons. Get the cheapest crayons that you want to. Honestly, you can usually even get a box for like 96 cents. The best time to stock up on these, if you're gonna be doing this for your classroom, is back to school time, because usually these are like a quarter. Now, usually like the Crayola brand or whatever, but today I grabbed the Crazy Art because it was the cheapest thing in my area, just to kind of show you anything is gonna work. Now, you're just gonna need some cardstock as well, and you're gonna want one that's a little bit thicker. You don't wanna use copy paper, it wouldn't hold up, but I grabbed these at Walmart. I'll have them linked down below for you guys. You can grab them on Amazon as well. These are, I believe, the Nina cardstock, so they're a little bit thicker here. It's perfect, but like I said, you could grab these locally or even grab them online. And then you're simply just going to need your printer as well as your Cricut. So I'm gonna be using the Canon printer today. I have it linked down below. I also found this at Walmart for like 49 bucks. Super affordable. We all know during the pandemic that the prices went crazy for the printers, but this guy has always stayed really cheap, and it prints amazing for the inkjet, my stickers, all of the things. So I'm using that Canon today, and then I've got my Cricut as well for this project. So we're gonna be using these designs right here, and I think the one I'm gonna be using is this dog one. It is so cute, this little puppy. So the kiddos, you're gonna make these are Valentines, and you can even do these for all sorts of ages for the kids to pass out in the classroom. And then the crayons, like I said, the kids can color those in. So I've got this design. I've already purchased it, so let's go ahead and head on over to my downloads. So I have found my purchase. It's ready to download. So we're simply gonna go to Download Files, click on Download. It's gonna go ahead and send that zip straight to the computer. So now we're ready to head on over to Cricut Design Space. All right, so now that we're over here in Cricut Design Space, we're gonna go ahead and upload our next one here. So we're gonna go to Upload Images. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, a drag and drop method. So I'm gonna come over here to my downloads, find that folder, and then I'm going to find the SVG versions. Now I'm gonna be using the puppy dog, so I can see where it says dog SVG, drag and drop, and it's gonna bring it straight over here into Cricut Design Space. Now it says Valentine's Day crayons, and so once again, I'm gonna go ahead and put in kids. So if I ever put in kids crafts, I'm gonna find all of these things. So we're gonna go ahead and hit upload, and then I'm going to click upload again, and then add it to Canvas. Now there's a few things that you're gonna have to do when you bring this into Cricut Design Space, because once again, Cricut does kind of manipulate whenever you upload your own images, but it's super easy. So here we go. So I've brought the file in. You don't need to resize anything because these things are absolutely sized perfect for you. But what we need to do is adjust some of these things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and come to ungroup, and then I'm going to individually adjust. So the first one that I'm gonna adjust is this one right here. So it is set as a basic cut, and that is an absolute no. So if I leave it as a basic cut, it's gonna cut my card in half. So what I need to do is I'm going to change that to a score line. So that is this line directly in the center. So now it's just going to score it so I can fold it in half if I would like to. All right, so for my next pieces are going to be this one right here, which these right here are also going to be score lines. So I don't want those to cut, or it's going to completely cut those off. All right, so now I want to work on my print and cut pieces. So I'm going to work on this one, which is my dog. I'm going to go ahead and select as many as I can at one time. So the to and from is also going to be print and cut, as well as I think your doggone great is all going to be a print and cut. So I've selected all three of those together, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit attach, and then I'm going to change those from a basic cut to a print and cut. So now those are going to be printed, and then now let's go ahead and work on our cut files, right? So we have these pieces right here. So these are going to cut out so we can put in our crayon pieces, as well as the entire outside of the file. So those are going to be our cut pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those as well. So now you can see that those are attached, and I can actually go back up to arrange and then send to backwards just to put it all the way back to the back. Now, what I need to do is I'm actually going to go in here to my print and cut pieces. I'm going to go ahead and attach those score lines as well, so you can see everything's back at the front. Everything's good to go, so if you visually need to see all of that. All right, so I've actually unattached these pieces with the outside folder. So I'm going to grab the outside folder because now we want to flatten this with the print and cut, because we want to make sure that it's going to print our puppy dog and all of the sayings, but not cut around the individual pieces. We just want it to cut around the card. So you're going to select the card background piece, and then we're going to go up here to our attached part where all of our print and cut pieces, and we're going to choose flatten. So what this is going to do is now it's just going to print on it, and then it's going to cut all the way around. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I can actually move that to the bottom so I can visually see everything still. So everything looks good. And so what you can do just to make sure everything is going to stay in place is go back in here, attach everything together, and we're good to go. So now we're going to go ahead and hit make it, and you're going to be able to see that here on the mat. And this is a print and cut. So if you guys are new to print and cut, this is what you should have. You should have this border. This is what tells the Cricut where to cut and what to do. So you do not need a mirror or any of those kind of things. We're just simply going to hit continue, and then we're going to choose send to printer. But before we do, let's go ahead and load our cardstock here. So all right, so now that I've loaded my cardstock, we're gonna hit send to printer. You're gonna choose the printer that you wanna send it to. I actually turn off my blade, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit print. So it's gonna print it out for us. All right, and you should have something that looks like this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and drop it down and show you guys so you can see a little better. You're not gonna see those cut lines because those are cut lines. You're not gonna see the score line. It's just going to print the print and cut piece. So this is what you should look like. Now what we're gonna be using is our blue mat today, because whenever it comes to cardstock or paper, you really wanna use a blue mat because it's not going to tear up our paper. It's a very light grip. So we're gonna go ahead and load this on here. Now the thing about it is you can actually do 2 cards at one time. So that's a little tip as well. I could actually have done 2, and you could do 2 different ones, 2 of the same at the same time. So just keep that in mind. You can do 2 cards at one time. All right, so we've loaded that on the mat here. So now what I'm gonna choose is the medium cardstock, and we're ready. So we're gonna go ahead and load this in just like so. Now before we hit go, one of the things we wanna do is load our scoring stylus. So I hold it from the bottom, and then you'll kind of feel it click into place, and we're gonna close it. So it's gonna score first, and then it'll cut everything out. So we're ready. We're gonna go ahead and hit the go button. All right, so now that we're done, we're gonna remove it, and then we're just going to flip it over. So this is gonna help us get it off the mat without making it curl or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. All right, so you may have to just kind of finish pulling out these little pieces. They're undone, but you may have to do that. So the next thing that you're gonna wanna do is bend these in. So these 2 right here with that little score line, Those are just going to fold in just like so. So that's going to allow it to hold our crayons. And then you do have the score line in the middle too. So if you wanted to fold it in half, so whenever you pass these to the kids, you could always have a little piece of candy kind of in there as well, like a little sucker if you wanted to, and take this down. Or you could put their name in there and also kind of have like a little, just a little piece of tape kind of holding that to fit in the box. Or you could keep them like this. So it's super easy. Now, these are made to be tight fit. So that way, what I really love about that is the kids can be running around like crazy, shaking these up, and they're not gonna fall out. Or the kids try to transport them to school, and by the time they get there, half their crayons has fell out. They're gonna hold in place. So I really, really love that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our crayons here, and you're just going to twist. You're gonna hold this and just twist your way in there, and then we'll hold that top. And you're gonna do the same thing. Just kind of twist and work your way in there, just like so. There we go, perfect. And then we'll go ahead and work on the next one. So we're gonna go ahead and just twist, twist, twist. All right, oh, there we go, and get that right up in there. And the more you do these cards, like you do a bunch, you really get in there a lot easier, but you can see that our crayons are not gonna go anywhere. So like I said, the kids have these in their bag, and they're going to go put these in all of the kiddos' boxes. They're not gonna lose their crayons halfway through. And then the kids that receive them, they can really check it out before they just absolutely fall out. So the designer did an amazing job on this. Absolutely love them. But look at how stinky cute this is. I love it. I'll kind of bring it up so you guys can have a better view there. And then the kiddos can just go in and color that in. I'll even kind of bring it up here. Sometimes, like I said, this camera brings in a little bit better quality of, I think it's the lights behind me. But I really, really love it. One of my favorite crafts I think I've ever done. There's Christmas versions, Halloween, all sorts of fun things. But this is perfect for a teacher for the classroom to pass out to the students as well. All sorts of different things that you can do with these, or mom making them for the kiddos for Valentine's Day. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this craft. And there you guys have it. There is 2 really fun, really easy Valentine projects that you guys can make this year using your Cricut. You could also do these with your Silhouette, Brother machine, whatever die cutting machine you have, you can definitely pull this off. Now, another really cool thing that you could do too with the, say for example, the black infusible ink. So if you don't have a sublimation printer, but you have some infusible ink, you could also cut this design out, press it in there, and it's going to be one with a fabric if you have a polyester t-shirt, and then you could use the infusible ink markers and press that as well. So that's another little idea. Or if you have a sublimation printer, you could print this design with sublimation ink and you can press that. So just another little idea as well if you guys don't have like a Cricut. And then the other thing is with these two, you could still print these out and maybe tape your crayons on there too. So another thing, you could take a little knife blade and also go in and hand cut those out. Little hole punch to push the holes in. Lots of different options to still pull this off just using a printer without your Cricut. So like I said, I hope you guys have learned something new. If you guys are going to be recreating these crafts at all, please let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite, which one you're going to be making. And also make sure you guys join our Facebook community group so you guys can share those finished products over there. I'd love to see the kiddos making these this year. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you guys do not miss any of our crafting tutorials. Bye for now.